411 meteorologist Kim Adams, a gloomy start to the work week, and we also have a chance for a little snow tomorrow. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
All right, Kim, up first, we are tracking testimony in the trial of the Oxford High School shooter's mother. Key moments from court coming up in a live report on First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Devin Skillian in for Karen Drew, who's on assignment today. First at 4, new witnesses in the case against Jennifer Crumbley, the mother of the Oxford High School shooter. Prosecutors are building their case, the defense trying to poke holes in the testimony. Sean Lay tracking it all. He's outside the courthouse in Pontiac. Sean.
Devin, I got to start with what just happened behind me in courtroom 2C. Video was played, never before made public. This is sheriff's investigators' video of them leading James and Jennifer Crumbley into an interrogation room at the sheriff's office, literally moments after the Oxford school shooting. In fact, one of the deputies tells the parents, students are still on their way to the hospital as we're talking right here. Now, the surprise reaction Jennifer Crumbley gave even the most seasoned veteran investigators a surprise. Also, you mentioned new witnesses on the witness stand. That would be the school counselor who brought the Crumbleys in the day of the shooting, said Jennifer Crumbley apparently was not interested in taking her son home or to a doctor, and he said he had no other choice but to send him back to class.
I wanted to make sure the student was able to get the support that I felt was needed, and I was wanting it to be as soon as possible.
The very day of the Oxford school shooting, school counselor Sean Hopkins called the shooter's parents to the school. It was urgent. He told them that their son needed help and needed help immediately. Urgent because Hopkins was presented with their son's math worksheet. On it, graphic and disturbing images drawn by the shooter of a handgun, an image of a person full of bullet holes with the words blood everywhere. The student writing, "The voices won't stop." Hopkins took the words and images put on the worksheet to mean that their son was suicidal and not meaning that the teen was a threat to others. He called the Crumbleys and told them to get to Oxford High School as soon as possible, telling them that their son may harm himself. But the parents did not rush in, hug their son when they arrived. They didn't ask him what was wrong.
She sat down in the chair, felt a little bit distant, more just kind of like it felt like it was a little bit of an inconvenience.
This is one of dozens of key elements to this first of its kind case, charging the parents of a school shooter, prosecutors alleging that they are partly responsible for the shooting deaths of Madison Baldwin, Tate Meir, Hannah St. Juliana, and Justin Schilling. Prosecutors say Jennifer Crumbley failed to simply provide ordinary care for her son. Hopkins says he told Jennifer Crumbley he wanted her son to see a health care professional that day. He says Jennifer Crumbley told him that they were busy and that was not going to happen, and their son wanted to go back to class.
I can't keep a student from class if there isn't a reason to keep him from class.
More evidence today from prosecutors alleging Jennifer Crumbley cared more about her horses and horseback riding than her son. After that urgent meeting at school, Crumbley sent a text to Kira Pennock, who runs the stables where her horses are kept, sent her a picture of her son's violent drawing, but reassured Pennock that she will still be on for horseback riding lessons that same day. In fact, the first witness on the stand was Kira Pennock, who ran the stables where the Crumbleys kept their horses, and there's about 2,000 instant messages on Facebook between her and Jennifer Crumbley. And she says everything she shared about her son wasn't much, but as soon as the shooting happened that day, she says she instantly thought of her son as the shooter. Devin?
Sean, I want to get back to this, the way that she reacted in the video to what had happened, because we've seen her be very emotional in court. Jurors have seen that.
She looks like a different person. Again, this was just played in court, Devin, and there's two sets of videos here. She's brought in, and we're going to show this all at 5 o'clock, informed that her son is the shooter, and they want to learn as much information about what's going on with him and what went wrong. And at first, she's kind of emotional and then shuts the investigators completely down twice, saying, "I'm not going to interview with you. I want a lawyer." They take them, the parents, back into another room where the shooter's in the corner, and they just stare at him. It's shocking that they stare at him, don't say anything, don't say, "What's going on? Are you okay? What happened?" And then as she's leaving, she turns around and she looks at him and just says, "Why?" And she leaves. And we'll hear from investigators at 5 and 6 saying they've never quite seen a reaction like that. When presented with such shocking information, they usually get an incredibly emotional reaction.
Boy, another riveting day. All right, Sean, we will see you again
Yes.
here on Local 4 News at 5. You can tune into live testimony anytime during the trial on Local 4 Plus on our website, clickondetroit.com. We've been streaming this since the start, also bringing you expert analysis during the case. If you don't have Local 4 Plus, you need to download that app wherever you stream your content. Canton police have launched a death investigation after a mysterious discovery in a subdivision described as a community where neighbors look out for each other. It all started when a body was found around 1 a.m. on Coppernick Road off Interstate 275. The body was found near a car. Now, so far, it is not clear how this person died or even if they lived in that neighborhood, but we are staying in touch with police, seeking more information. We'll have an update coming up tonight on Local 4 News at 6. A lot of rain and melting snow can lead to flooding. We've certainly seen that. A lot of a problem last week, and residents around Orr Lake in Hamburg Township going through that experience as well. We've got a crew in Livingston County today sending us video of water creeping into yards and crawl spaces. Neighbors say flooding like this happens more often in the spring and summer. They haven't seen winter flooding in about 4 years. Some neighbors are organizing, trying to tackle the issue together. We'll have that story coming up on Local 4 News at 5. From flooding issues in Livingston County, we head down to the riverfront, Detroit. Here's a look from our Windsor Sky Cam. A lot to talk about here, though, in the forecast. Let's get to Kim Adams with what's coming. Kim.
Do we have to talk about it?
Well, I'm afraid we do.
I know. It is the Mondayest of all Mondays I think I've ever forecasted for. I mean, does this not fit the mood? Cloudy skies, temperatures are in the low 40s, low to mid 40s in a few spots. 34 in Detroit, also in Howell, above freezing in Pontiac, and mid 30s down in Adrian. So that's pretty much it across the board, from 33 to about 35. Not much of a wind chill, but it does feel like it's in the upper 20s in Pontiac, Lapeer, Sandusky, Ann Arbor, and also out at Metro Airport, where the wind chill is 28. Tomorrow, well, it's going to be a very quick period of snow, only about 4 hours, but could put down at least an inch or two in some spots, especially on the west side. 30 degrees at 8 a.m. Temperatures start to climb, so after about 10 or 11 o'clock, we'll start to see it total up on those grassy areas. We'll talk about when and if we're going to see the sunshine again. Well, I promise we will. We'll talk about when coming up.
Ain't no sunshine for a lot of us in Detroit today. It has been a rough 18 hours for Detroit Lions fans after the amazing highs of this wonderful season. In just a few minutes, head coach Dan Campbell expected to talk with reporters over in Allen Park as the team has made their way back from San Francisco. Live look at the podium, reporters getting set up. Of course, we all know Lions lost to the 49ers in the NFC Championship last night, falling one step short of the Super Bowl despite a 17-point lead at the half. We've got a crew waiting for the coach. We'll hear from him coming up on Local 4 News at 5. Boy, what a year. A lot of our WDIV insiders are thanking the team on our website. Randy Cooperman wrote, quote, "You brought us so much to look forward to each week. Your hard work and dedication united the entire state and made the world your fans. Can't wait for next season." I'll second that one. Another viewer wrote, "Thank you, Lions. It was a hell of a season. Your tenacity brought so much pride to our state. I actually enjoyed watching football. My husband hides the remote when you play." And finally, one more. The Lions did a great job. There is always next year. Go Lions. More reaction. And again, we will hear from Dan Campbell and the team coming up on Local 4 News at 5 and 6. Whole world now waiting to see how President Biden will respond to a deadly strike that killed 3 American soldiers in Jordan. A drone hit a military installation called Tower 22, located in northeastern Jordan near the border with Syria. 34 people were injured, 8 evacuated for high-level care. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom with who's watching for America's next move here, KG.
Hi, Devin. Good afternoon. We're getting our first theory on how the enemy drone was able to strike. U.S. officials say it may have been mistaken for an American drone returning to base at the same time. So that might explain why the enemy drone wasn't shot down and evaded U.S. air defenses, but it has not officially been confirmed as of yet. The United States is blaming a group backed by Iran for the attack, which led to the first hostile fire deaths for any American since the Israel-Hamas war broke out back on October 7th. President Biden is promising retaliation, but isn't offering any details on what form it will take. Republicans like Senator Lindsey Graham are urging a direct attack on Iran, but the Biden administration is saying it's not looking for a war with that country. The president's team described the decision-making that's happening right now.
He's met twice with his national security team yesterday and today. He's weighing the options before him. As he said yesterday, we will respond. We'll do that on our schedule, in our time, and we'll do it in the manner of the president's choosing as commander-in-chief. We'll also do it fully cognizant of the fact that these groups, backed by Tehran, have just taken the lives of American troops.
The Biden team says it's not looking to expand conflict in the Middle East, but also indicated its patience is wearing thin after other attacks, including strikes by Houthi rebels on ships in the Red Sea. We are monitoring the U.S. response, and we will have an update when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. For now, Devin, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah. All right, KG, we'll see you then.